Welcome to Psychology Pub. Like, comment, and subscribe for more videos from us. Today we'll talk about 10 ways to deal with a narcissist. Are you dealing with a narcissist? It's sometimes difficult to tell because narcissistic abuse can be extremely subtle. According to Lloyd I. Sederer, author of Blueprints Psychiatry, up to 1% of the general population has a narcissistic personality disorder. So, you've probably dealt with a narcissist at some point in your life. A narcissist can be anyone in your life, including a spouse, family member, friend, colleague, and others. When in a relationship with a narcissist, it's sometimes challenging to distance or end the relationship. So how can you recognize a narcissist? What is a narcissist? A narcissist is someone who has a narcissist personality disorder, NPD, which is a recognized mental health issue. They tend to be highly self-involved, focused on themselves. The person may believe they're better than others and are entitled to special treatment and favors. They may also feel superior to others and be arrogant and haughty. Narcissists do not feel empathy or concern for others. We must stress that having narcissistic tendencies is not the same thing as being a narcissist. What's more, a person can be a narcissist without abusing the other people in their lives. It's important to understand these distinctions. People with NPD may be very charming and charismatic, which is a facade for their true nature. They are incredibly charming in relationships and need the people around them to feed their egos. However, these relationships never mean anything to the narcissist. The relationships are superficial and enhance the person's feelings of superiority. Major types of narcissism. There are two main types of narcissism, which have some traits in common. However, the type or types are associated with the different ways the narcissists act within their relationships. Grandiose narcissism. People who have highly inflated views of their own self-worth tend to have grandiose narcissism. They are above everyone and expect to be treated as a superior being. These people brag and are elitists. Individuals with this type of narcissism may be dominant, exaggerate their importance, and be aggressive. They are highly self-confident and not sensitive. Vulnerable narcissism. People with this form of narcissism have usually experienced some form of abuse or neglect in childhood. They are extremely sensitive, and their narcissism protects them from feelings of low self-esteem. Those with this form of narcissism may at times feel superior or inferior to those around them. They may also become offended or develop anxiety when others do not see them as special. Signs you may be dealing with a narcissist. When dealing with a narcissist, you may have many feelings inside, which may include the following. You feel isolated or the person tries to isolate you. They tell you how to feel or act. The individual challenges your view of reality or gaslights you. They monitor your whereabouts and your friends. They project their own faults onto you. Discount your needs and opinions. You don't recognize yourself. Your self-confidence has become lower. You doubt yourself and your own sanity. So, if you recognize that someone in your life is a narcissist, what can you do about it? The good news is that there are steps you can take to deal with someone who has NPD. Steps you can take to deal with a narcissist. Here are some steps you can take to deal with the narcissist in your life. 1. What type of narcissist are you dealing with? The first step is to recognize and accept that you're dealing with a narcissist. Next, you need to determine which type of narcissism they have. There are two major types of narcissists, including grandiose narcissism and vulnerable narcissism, as previously discussed. If you're in a work situation, then it's beneficial to get the narcissist on your team and provide them with a prominent role. In a family situation, you may be dealing with a vulnerable narcissist. They tend to be introverted, so be sure to offer reassurance to the person, which helps them control their emotions. 2. Stop focusing on them. Does your attention seem to always go toward the narcissist in your life? This is usually the case, as they want all your attention. The attention may be positive or negative, it doesn't matter. Their main goal is to be the center of attention. It may happen that you focus so much on them, you may overlook your own needs to keep them happy. In order to stop this behavior, then create some time for yourself. away from the individual. Take care of yourself first, understanding that you can change them or fix them yourself to suit them and their needs. 3. Avoid direct confrontation. Narcissists tend to be extremely sensitive to criticism. If you point out a fault or failing of theirs, it can trigger narcissistic rage. You may be able to avoid this by providing negative feedback in a way of a compliment. It may be necessary to keep the feedback small. However, when combined with a compliment, the feedback won't be as painful for the narcissist to accept. While they won't feel happy about the negative feedback, they will be somewhat distracted by the compliment, which is what they crave in the first place. 4. Avoid becoming obviously upset. One of the narcissist strategies is to make people upset and feel bad. If the person you're dealing with has this tendency, it's best to avoid becoming visibly upset when you need to confront them about something. There are times when you must speak up, when you need to make a stand. Do so in a firm, calm manner. Keep your voice lowered and avoid showing any negative emotions. When you must speak up, be very specific and consistent about what is not acceptable and the remedy, which may be how you're treated. By staying calm, you show control of your own emotions and that you're not going to back down. Taking these actions may even surprise the narcissist, disarming them a bit. But on the other hand, the narcissist could explode into a rage. Be prepared for their reaction and try to keep your own emotions under control. It's also possible the narcissist will not understand or care about how the issue affects you. 5. Set firm boundaries. Remember that a narcissistic person is usually entirely centered on themselves. In addition, because they feel superior to you, it's possible they may feel the right to control you, go through your things, and more. These individuals do not understand personal boundaries, which means they tend to cross boundaries without even knowing it. When setting firm boundaries with a person who has NPD, you must clearly state the boundary. Then, you must just as clearly state the consequences of crossing that boundary. The goal here is to help the individual pay attention because something is directly impacting them. Your threat cannot be idle. If you don't follow through, the narcissist will not believe you next time. 6. The narcissist will push back. When you stand up to a narcissist, they will definitely respond. They may come back with their own demands to try to make you feel guilty and more. In this situation, you must firmly stand your ground. If you give in at all, the narcissist will not believe you again. 7. Keep conversations brief. When you must have a conversation with a narcissist, make it brief. The individual with NPD is an expert at controlling the conversation. It's a form of manipulation that gives them more power. Plus, you aren't able to get your own point across. So, keep the conversation brief and to the point. If they try to overtalk or gain control, redirect the conversation back to the point. If this fails, then it's time to end the conversation. The narcissist simply will not listen. 8. Act interested. There are times when it's necessary to deal with a narcissist, and there's no way around it. In that case, it can be helpful to act interested. Respond with statements such as, "That's interesting. Can you tell me more about it?" Or, "How do you plan to carry that out?" In some situations, you may want to avoid talking with the person altogether. Tell them you're busy right now. You might also say you'd love to talk, but you have to get some housework done. 9. Immediate fulfillment of promises. Narcissists will make all kinds of promises, especially when they gain something. Their gain may be keeping you in their sphere of influence or in the relationship. The individual may even be sincere at the moment. However, they will eventually slide on their promise. When you want something, be sure to stand your ground. Tell the person you will fulfill their request after they've fulfilled yours. Don't give in at all and remain consistent. 10. Know when you need help. When you're constantly dealing with a person who has a narcissistic personality disorder, it can begin to affect your well-being. If you find you regularly feel anxious, depressed, or develop unusual physical symptoms, then it's time to seek help. You can start by seeing your general practitioner for a checkup. If your checkup is good, then consider asking the doctor for referrals to counselors, therapists, or support groups. And reach out to your support network with what's going on. There's no shame in seeking help, and there's no need to deal with this alone. Final thoughts. In the end, There may come a time when you realize there's no reason to stay in the relationship. For example, if you've suffered verbal, emotional, or physical abuse, it's time to end the relationship. Remember that you're not at fault, and the narcissist has their own mental health problem that needs help. The sad truth is they may never realize the problem or get help. Again, that's not your fault. You need to take care of yourself first and foremost, even if that means ending the relationship. Thanks for joining us today in the Psychology Pub. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more great videos.